Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a Jawa Cup event. I am Dan Taglione, also known as D-Tar Tag 1, coming to you live. Tonight we have the top four matchup between Jason Reindeau and David Woods. Jason has decided to start with his light side deck, which means that David is going to be playing his Trooper Beatdown deck in the first game. So this is going to be interesting. I feel like this is going to be a good match. David got past Johnny Chu with the first game. He was down by 25-26 after game one. Used this Trooper Beatdown deck to come back and advance to the top four. Jason is going to be going with, I believe it is EBO. So here we go. We have a very exciting match. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't EBO. It's clones. So it's clones versus IE. Trooper on Trooper violence. I kind of like it. This is not a match that I felt like people were going to see in the top four. And just for everybody's record, tonight at 10 p.m., actually 10:30, Connor Britton versus Scotland Grill will be being shown on. Not Scotland Grill, but Garrett Larson's channel. I'll be posting that it's actually on the scroll down at the bottom, but if you're interested in it, we'll make sure that the link is provided here very soon. So, David going with send a detachment down V, Imperial Detention, Imperial Enforcement V, and Endor Shield V. Whereas Jason going with Security Control V, a Good Blaster Side V, and Superficial Damage V. We already have our first Rebel Leadership. We're going to go get General Kenobi. Dave goes out and gets his grabber after getting Admiral Ozzel to his hand. And thank you all for joining us tonight in this top four Jawa match. Okay, so David goes in and activates. We got a little bit of talking between our two competitors. I kind of like that. Friendly little match going on. Jason saying he thinks he has the game 2 edge. Definitely going to see. I believe his dark side is Thrawn, and David, I'm trying to remember what he played for light side. I know he's playing clones. Both players are playing clones. That doesn't seem right, but who am I to judge? So here we go with David. He activates his 6. He's using send a detachment down to go get a trooper. He exchanges a stormtrooper patrol to go get Trooper Davin Felth. Using his objectives, going to get him any Tatooine base location. And just to confirm, no, David is actually playing No Idea. I do apologize. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me. As we see Battle Order come out. Dave is playing No Idea after that's right. That's the deck that he lost to Johnny Chu in game 1 with Agents of Black Sun. As we see Dave just draw some cards, leaving 2. So he's got the Devastator up there at Tatooine, not really doing much of anything. We see that the Grievous from Run and Hide is sitting over at Tatooine. I kind of like that from Jason. As Jason does activate 8 for his first turn. Yeah, and I understand that, yes, Dave knows that there's no space in Jason's light side deck, so he's pretty confident that the Devastator is going to be sitting there the entire game, not really doing much of anything. There's the Clone Birthing Center from Jason's deck, coming out via the Geonosis Clone Command Center. And General Kenobi going down to the Imperial landing site. So Jason feeling a little good right now, getting out General Kenobi. He's only got 2 force left, so it's going to be interesting to see what Jason does here. We saw Jason go down with a plethora of troopers against Johnny Chu. As we see, Jason does take a non-unique clone trooper, deploys him for free next to General Kenobi. Goes and gets an Episode 1 weapon. He can put those on either of the characters. He gets a Jedi Lightsaber V. Just remember that lightsaber does not make forfeit -0 or forfeit equals 0. It just makes it so that they cannot be satisfied for attrition. And there's a blaster rifle on the clone trooper. The blaster rifles are really good on the clone troopers, as the troopers themselves allow you to cancel and redraw a just drawn weapon destiny. And as Jason draws 1 card. Let's see if he draws another card here. No, he will not. He will save 1 force. Dave already has 2 force activated, so he's going to get a total of 10 on his turn. Wonder if Jason has his Hujiks out in his hand. He's got a 7-card hand, as he does say that he thought about drawing that last card. Dave's going to put a non-maintenance cost trooper back into his reserve deck to grab another one. And again, thank you all for joining us this chilly February evening. I know you guys have probably some other stuff that you could be doing, but I'm glad to see that you chose the option of joining us tonight, watching Jason versus Dave. They will be playing both games, and it's going to be Thrawn versus No Idea in Game 2. I agree with Carl. This is a kind of a dangerous turn for David. Like, he wants to go down and kind of initiate against Kenobi and the Clone Trooper. But on the other side, though, is if he does it, he's staring down a drain of, I believe it's 3. As, yes, it is a drain of 3 there. We see the Trooper TD4445 going down with a dewback to Mos Eisley V. Again, and Trooper Davin Felth going down as well. Corporal Obrick coming down. That's going to allow him to deploy a battleground or speeder bike from the use pile. There's the Tatooine Jawa Camp V. And if David can get out a few more troopers here, he might be able to actually flip it. And he does flip his objective. Ozzel going down for free to the Jawa camp. There's the strategic reserves from his hand. So with that strategic reserves, he can just throw down a non-unique trooper to the effect and negate that drain at the landing site. So really good second turn from David already. And he still has 5 more cards in his deck in his force pile. So probably going to see him draw some more cards. Again, the winner of this game will advance to the finals and they will. I'm sorry, the winner of this match will advance to the finals, and they will await either Connor Britton or Scott Lingrell for the finals of the 2023-2024 Jawa Cup. Moves the Trooper Davin Felth from Moss Espa to Moss Eisley. Corporal Obrick moves over as well. And Dave's just going to draw some cards. So far, he has drawn one. He draws two, so he's not going to be able to play the Reacting Stormtrooper Patrol from his hand, if he has one. But as the chat pointed out, however, he does save enough force to deploy to use one Imperial Barrier if it comes necessary. Dave does have to lose one, so he'll lose a Deflecting Shield Generators from his hand, as Jason will ping him for 1 damage from the A Good Blaster at Your Side effect. Jason also going to use his Geonosis Cologne Command Center to go get another Camino site or a Clone Army Battleground from his reserve deck. There was none in there, so he's not going to get a pull. I believe he's just checking to see if he has a blaster or another Episode 1 weapon in his deck. So that way he can pull it with Security Control V. And here we go. Qui-Gon Jinn, Serene Jedi, going down to the Jawa camp. And no action from Dave. Security Control allows a Jedi lightsaber to come from the reserve deck to Qui-Gon Jinn. Now, Jason did not pay to drain in fear of the strategic reserves. Jason will initiate. Qui-Gon will be able to swing the lightsaber unless Dave has a card that negates weapons from being fired. First things first, he's going to play Trooper Assault to make all of his troopers +2 power and immune to attrition. That doesn't really help Admiral Ozzel, though, as Jason does grab the interrupt with his A Tragedy, or his Grabber Shield. Draws a 3 for the first Destiny against Corporal Obrick. And a 6, I believe that's going to hit the Biker Scout Trooper. Again, he will not be able to be used to satisfy attrition. Jason saying he's surprised that no one has printed a canceller for Trooper Assault after Imperial Entanglements Trooper has been popular, or First Order Trooper was popular, or ISB Troopers has been popular, or any of the other popular Trooper decks. As we see, Jason draws a 5 in total for his Battle Destiny. David also draws a 5. David will win the fight. He'll win by 17-11. Grievous Ren and Hide moves over to Geonosis. Apparently, Throw Me Another Charge actually cancels Trooper Assault. Interesting. As David said, sense works as well. Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. Okay, so there goes Corporal Obrick. Jason has to decide if he wants to lose cards, peel cards, or if he's going to keep Qui-Gon around. And it looks like he's peeling cards. So Ahsoka Tano goes to the Lost Pile. Blaster Rifle, also Jedi's Resilience, Clone Trooper, and a Yoda, Master of the Force, all go to the Lost Pile, as Jason wants to keep Qui-Gon Jinn around. Trooper Davin Felth also sticking around, as Jason moves a clone trooper away from the landing site over to the Mos Espa, flipping David back. And Jason will draw a card. He's got 6 cards in hand. Jason has 6 cards in hand, and David currently has 8. We do know that David currently has battle orders activated, so he won't have to pay to drain. Jason, on the other hand, will have to pay to drain, as David has alluded to the fact that Jason has no space in this deck. As we go into Dave's turn 3 here. We do see a drain of 1 at Mos Eisley. Jason thinking about when he wants to lose. He'll lose a Blaster Deflection from his hand. He has no Force Pile left at this point. David with 15 cards in his Force Pile, as he's going to play Force Push and Pod Racer Collision to exchange 2 cards from his hand to get 1 card out of his Force Pile. Dave digging around through his Force Pile, figuring out what card he wants to take. He's got his choice of 15 cards. Jason saying that he's not used to the combo version. I don't know, like the combo version seems really good if you're not running any Dark Jedi. Dave's still thinking about what he wants to take. And here we go. Sergeant Tarl going down. As Dave makes Carl Koenig very happy with that card. Stormtrooper Patrol, a Stormtrooper Cadet. And we see Yavin Sentry coming out of from under the defensive shields for Jason. And Dave initiates a battle. Another Trooper Assault from his hand. As we have the Qui-Gon swing his lightsaber at the Stormtrooper Patrol. Draws a 6 and a 6. That's going to hit the Trooper Patrol. Jason not happy with drawing 6s for Weapon Destiny. As Dave's going to draw Sergeant Wayland for his Destiny. He's going to cancel it with Imperial Enforcement. Taking Sergeant Wayland into hand, draws another Stormtrooper Patrol for Destiny. He's told about us, and he's going to be 3, so it's currently 26-6 in favor of Dave. As we see Jason draw a 4, it's going to become a 6 with Qui-Gon's game text, as both players have full immunity to attrition. However, Dave's up by 14 in power. So there goes Qui-Gon, plus an additional 6 from Jason, unless he has the Hoojiks here. And he does not, so he's going to peel 6 cards. There goes a Weapon Levitation, Jedi's Resilience, Escape Pod V, Rebel Leadership V, We Still Got a Grand Army, and a Battle of Geonosis. That is what this Trooper Patrol deck can do, as we see Dave just wipe Qui-Gon Jinn, Serene Jedi, off the field. As Dave goes into his draw phase, and he will start to draw some cards. Jason activates 12. Pings for 1 damage with the A Good Blaster at your side. Currently, Jason has 24 in Life Force, 6 in hand. Dave has 26 in Life Force and 10 in hand. However, he just loses an Alert My Star Destroyer from his hand to the A Good Blaster ping. See Jason look for a Battleground or a Clone or Camino site with his Clone Command Center. Not getting a Verify, so that means that he's got one in his deck somewhere. And there's the Geonosis assembly area. Again, Grievous will run and hide, still over on Geonosis. And we're definitely going to do some trivia tonight. Give away some GIMP AI packs to some lucky viewers as the game goes on. As we currently in Jason's deploy phase, as we see Ayla Secura going down in front of those 3 troopers. Dave with an Imperial Barrier to make it so that she can't move or battle. Ayla, pretty good card, even though she is an alien. She really useful with light side clones. Jason always saying that he also whiffed on his grappling hook effect that would have made Imperial Barrier a lost interrupt instead of a used one. As another clone trooper goes down, this time with Ayla. Dave has no force in his force pile, so we're definitely not going to see another trooper assault. Captain Rex of the 501st Legion going down to the Jawa camp. Now, that is not an Episode 1 battleground, so Rex will not get an extra Destiny there. As we see that Jason still has one force left, so we're probably not going to see a battle here. You are correct, Bill. Ayla does provide an extra battle destiny there. However, she is barriered, so she will not be participating in any battles this turn if Jason decides he wants to initiate. Again, Jason got past Jared Konsker in the first round. Played clones against Watto. And then it was Thrawn versus EBO in the second game. Jason ending his turn by putting a non-unique clone onto the cloning cylinders, face down. And he does not find a non-unique clone, but he does draw his last card and pass his turn over to Dave. So right now, Jason is threatening 2 battle destinies and a permanent weapon there. But we're going to start off Dave's turn by activating and then draining for 1. As we sit here in Dave's control phase now, there's the drain for 1 at Mos Eisley V. And CT5555, also known as Fives, goes off the top of the reserve deck. Jason saying he's curious to see if Dave has another Trooper Assault. As we see Dave go exchange Sergeant Major Burst with exchanges Sergeant Major Burst to go get a Stormtrooper Patrol from his hand. So got 15 force to work with this turn. There's another Stormtrooper Patrol. According to the chat, we have a friend of David Woods saying that he's running 6 Trooper Assaults in his deck. And we have another battle. Sergeant Wayland coming down for free. And a third Trooper Assault coming out, giving David plus 10 in power there. And all of those troopers are immune to attrition. Captain Rex takes aim at the Stormtrooper Patrol, draws a 4 for the first destiny. Draws a 5 for a total of 9. And even though it's -2, that's still going to hit the patrol, making him forfeit -3. Dave draws his battle destiny. It's going to be a 4, bringing his total up to 30. Jason draws a 1 for the first battle destiny. And a 1 for the second, and it's that Hujix. So he's got a total battle destiny of 2, so it's going to be 30 to 18, or I'm sorry, 30 to 16. Now, Jason does have a little bit in forfeit value there. As we see the Clone Trooper, Ayla, and the Hujiks and Anakin Skywalker go to the lost pile, and as well as a Wisagana Grand Army. So Jason is confident in the fact that he can lose his Hojiks after the battle, that he's fine. And we see Dave just draw a few cards, saving, looks like at least, yep, he's saving 4 cards. He's got 10 in hand. Jason needing to push through some damage at this point. See Jason activate. He's got 14 in his force pile, 4 in his reserve deck. Jason sitting at 19 hand in life. Dave sitting at 32. There's another ping to the A Good Blaster at your side as we see Dave lose Comm Scan detection from his hand. Jason decides he does not want to initiate a drain as he checks out what the 4 Destiny are in his reserve deck. Yes, I will definitely agree. And you should have played Trooper Beatdown at the event, I believe it was 2 years ago when Bill and I were there. I know you played it at Virginia States, but if you played it for Yavin 4 Regionals, I think you would have did well. And Anakin Skywalker going down with Rex, but there's another Imperial barrier from Dave. That's the thing. Like right now, Dave is in almost full control as he's using the Imperial barrier, getting past the grappling hook so he doesn't have to lose them. Blaster rifle goes on to Anakin. And don't want to count out Jason just yet. We know that right now it looks like Dave is in a really good spot. However, as Dave can attest to, people can come back from really bad beatdowns in game 1. So we see Jason go to his draw step. He stacks a clone onto the cloning cylinders, draws a few cards, saving 13. Go into Dave's turn. He's going to activate, most likely drain with the TD 4445. And then if he has another Trooper Assault, we might see another battle. No, we're going to keep with that one. We're going to keep with your first statement. And Jason's saying that he finally found his grappling hook, but it's a no. I'm sorry. He finally found the Naboo Boss Nass chambers, but it's a little too late. As we see Grand Admiral Thrawn going down to the landing site. Dave playing the best dark side effect in the game to go get any card out of his force pile. I don't know, Jason. I know that in his game against Johnny Chu, Tarkin's Bounty worked really well. As we see Tatooine Occupation V going down. For those who are not familiar with that one, if you occupy the Tatooine system, it does the same thing, but instead of occupying for each, you have to occupy it with a trooper, and as long as you have 3 troopers on Tatooine, they can't cancel this with Altar or Celebration. I'm assuming Carl was playing clones in the one game, but I could be wrong. As we see another Stormtrooper patrol going down in front of Anakin and Rex. Speaking of Hayes and Brian Fred, they were just on the most recent episode of Holo Theater this past week. If you want to watch that, it was a really good episode. It is available on the PC's YouTube channel. As Dave checks out and sees what his 5 cards are in his reserve deck. See him exchange Corporal Dresselin to get Captain Maud Tarek out of his deck. And Dave will initiate another battle, and he'll play his 4th Trooper Assault. As all of his troopers are immune to attrition, however, they can still be fired upon by weapons. And we know the Hoojix is in the lost pile. As we see Anakin take aim at the Stormtrooper Cadet. Draws a 4, and that's going to hit the Cadet, who cannot be used to satisfy attrition. Rex takes aim at the Stormtrooper Patrol. Draws a 5. And a 4. That's going to hit the Patrol, making him forfeit -3. Dave draws a 3 for his battle destiny, as he's going to cancel it and take it into hand. And he draws a 2. Jason saying that he ran Dave out of trooper assaults. Little does he know. And we see Jason draws a 5 for battle destiny, so it's going to be 28 to 14, down by 14. I believe that's going to be Anakin, at least Anakin and Rex, plus a little bit in overflow. Oh, I'm sorry. It is not, as we see the Blaster Rifle V go to the use pile. As you see Rex go lost. And Anakin will as well. That flipping Dave over to the 7 side of his objective. Dave starts drawing some cards in his draw phase. Now he's going to be able to start retrieving with the objective as well. Dave still drawing some cards. saving 2 and pass his turn. Interesting. So he did not retrieve with the objective, as we see the clone trooper become flipped onto his face side. Jason activating 5. Plays a rebel leadership. Dave will grab the leadership. As we see no general or admiral in Jason's reserve deck. Activates 2 more, bringing his total up to 11. Ping damage with the A Good Blaster at your side. There goes a Strategic Reserves from Dave's hand. Jason checking out the 3 cards that are left in his reserve deck. As Commander Cody goes down in front of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And there is another Imperial barrier for Dave. As Cody is blocked from battling or moving. Jason was 8 cards left in his force pile. He still has 5 in his hand. As we see a clone trooper go down in front of TD 4445 and the do back. Looks like Jason is attempting to flip Dave back at this point. No, clone trooper going down with Commander Cody. And another clone trooper going down in front of Commander Cody. And Kenobi moves over in front of Trooper Davin Fell, Sergeant Tarl, and Sergeant Whalen. And that does flip Dave back over to the 0 side. The clone trooper from the Mos Eisley will move over with General Kenobi, and the other clone trooper will move over as well. As we see Jason stack a card onto the clone cylinders. Nope, there are no clones in there, so no clone going to the clone cylinders. Dave is going to be doing a point of damage this turn with a drain at Mos Eisley. Thank you, Ming, for subscribing to 24 months. And Bill Kafer, currently up to 47 months. Currently on a 5-month streak. Thank you, Bill. As we see a Drain of 1 at Mos Eisley. There goes a Qui-Gon Jinn's lightsaber. And we have an Ellis Hellrot. Dave having to pay 4 for the Ellis. As we see Grand Admiral Thrawn run away from Tatooine, moves over to Kamino. And Thrawn will drain for 2. As we see, there goes a Battle of Geonosis, and Generation 1 armor always holds up, both from hand. No Imperial occupation damage for Dave, as he is now on the 0 side of his objective. Dave will check out and see what those 2 cards are in his reserve deck. He currently has a 3-card hand and 11 cards in his reserve or in his life force. Jason's saying that there's a pair of 2s for Destiny. However, we see that Dave is going to go exchange Captain Maud Tarek for Sergeant Barrick. Jason just taunting fate, asking if Dave has the Trooper Assault number 5, as we see Corporal Dresslin going down to Geonosis, and Sergeant Barrick going down as well. Dave starting to spread out a little bit. As he moves both the speeder bike troopers over to the Clone Command Center. And he starts moving all of the troopers as well. So it is looking like Jason should be able to get some damage in this turn via a Force Drain. One thing Dave can do is pull his Resistance Shield, capping the drain at 2. But he still has Strategic Reserves out on the table. As we see him draw a card and pass turn. Dave, 18 cards in Life Force, 5 in hand. Jason, 11 in Life Force and 3 in hand. There's the good blaster at your side ping for 1. As we see a Gick, and those rebels won't escape us, going to the lost pile off the top of the reserve deck. Drain for 3 at the Jawa camp. Again, however, there's a Stormtrooper Cadet going down and canceling the drain at the Jawa camp. Now, it would have been a drain of 3 with the Jedi lightsaber. Jason saying that he was afraid of Dave having a non-unique trooper to be able to cancel it. And there's a grappling hook coming out of hand. And Tup going down to the Clone Command Center for 3 Force. Still has 2 Force left. Still has 1 card in hand and 2 Force left to do something this turn. Dave setting threatening drains of 2 and 1. As he was threatening 5 points of damage. However, being that Jason just threw out Tup, he's going to be able to... he's canceling, or he's negating the drain at the Clone Command Center. There is another blaster rifle going on to Tup. And again, Scotland Grill will face off against Connor Britton in Game 1 tonight at 10:30 Eastern. Right now that will be on Garrett Larson's channel. For more for that channel, go ahead and check out the link on the scroll. See a clone trooper go over and block the drain in front of the dewback. Interesting. Jason does draw a card, as he's currently 11 in Life Force in hand. Dave sitting at 21 Life Force in hand. Again, Dave is going to be able to drain for at least 2. Well, I'm sorry, he's going to be draining for 2 and 1 this turn. Dave activating his 15 force. He's got 2 left in his reserve deck. Drain of 1 at Mos Espa. See Jason lose a Jedi Resilience from his hand. Drain of 2 at the Birthing Chamber. There goes Wisa got a Grand Army and a Blaster Deflection off the top of the reserve deck. No damage with the Tatooine occupation. Dave checking out and seeing what is in his reserve deck. Dave still in his deploy phase here, thinking about what he wants to do. Again, Jason only has 8 cards left in Life Force and in hand. Sergeant Elsk going down in front of Tup. And Dave's going to attempt to revert the game. Or, I'm sorry, revert. As it looked like he went into his battle before he meant to. As he's still in his battle phase, he has to go back at least before he deploys Sergeant Elsk. As we see another revert from Dave, he goes back into his deploy phase. Sergeant Elsk going down to the Clone Command Center. Dave getting a little click happy. As a Stormtrooper Cadet comes down from hand. And we have a battle over on Geonosis, our first of the game. Dave still has 13 cards in his force pile. Will we see Trooper Assault number 5? We will not. The blaster rifle is going to take aim and fire at Sergeant Barrick, hitting the biker scout trooper. As he is only defense value 2. John, we all did. Dave draws a 3 for his Battle Destiny, bringing his total power up to 8. That's going to get rid of the blaster rifle and top. Nope, Dave's going to take that into hand. And draws a 4 for Battle Destiny, bringing his total up to 9. Still just getting rid of the blaster rifle and top. However, that does get Jason off of Geonosis and open up a drain of 2 for Dave. As we still are in Dave's battle phase, but I don't expect to see him battled right now. As we see Dave leave TD 4444445 at Mos Eisley. Everybody else is sticking around on Tatooine where they are at. Jason thinking about what he wants to do this turn. He's got 9 in Life Force in hand. Dave sitting at 20 Life Force in hand. Jason activating 6, saving 2. Dave's going to pull his resistance shield. We have a drain of 2, looking like it's going to be a drain of 3 at the Jawa camp. As we see Dave cancel that with a Stormtrooper Cadet. Jason looking at the 2 cards in his reserve deck. And he does pull a blaster rifle, putting it onto the Clone Trooper with Cody and the other Clone Trooper. He only has 1 force left now. Or I'm sorry, he only has 1 card left in his reserve deck. And we see an initiation with the Clone Trooper with the blast rifle against TD 4445. The blaster rifle will shoot at the trooper and drawing a 4 for Destiny. And hitting TD... No, he hits the dewback. Interesting. Dave is getting a Destiny here. Dave draws a 4 for his Battle Destiny, bringing his total up to 10. I believe that is going to cause a little bit of overflow here. However, the dewback does have to go to the lost pile. And I believe TD4445 can hop off and stick around on Moss Eisley. There goes the gun to the use pile. Yep. Trooper hops off. The dewback goes to the lost pile. And the clone trooper goes to the lost pile as well. Dave currently still threatening drains of 6 now. As we see Kenobi move over in front of Trooper Davenfelth, Sergeant Tarl, and Sergeant Whalen. And the Clone Trooper moves over in front of TD4445. Interesting. So now Dave is only threatening drains of 2 and 2 this turn, which would bring Jason down to a total of 5 in Life Force. As we see, Cold Feet gets stacked onto Grappling Hook. Dave saying that he totally forgot that was there. As he was just trying to up his Life Force as he's sitting at 14. Clone gets stacked onto the cloning cylinders, and it will be Dave's turn. Dave activating 1. Drains for 2 at the cloning birthing center. As we see Odin Nestler and First Strike go lost, as well as Odin Nestler and First Strike off the top. Drains for 2 at the clone command center, as we see Wisa got a Grand Army and a blaster rifle both go to the lost pile. Dave still has 4 cards in hand. He's sitting at 14 in Life Force. Stormtrooper Cadet goes down with the TD4445. Looks like Dave is going to attempt to beat this little clone trooper down with the superior might of the Imperial War Machine. As he draws a 4 for his Ellis Destiny. And we see all 3, the 2 sergeants and the trooper go over as well. For 11 power there. Plus Destiny. I'm sorry, it is now 12 power plus Destiny. And it looks like Dave is going to go for the beatdown to end the game. As he draws a 4 for Battle Destiny, bringing his total up to 16. 16 to 2, down by 14. The trooper only covers for 4. It's going to be 10 in overflow. Dave is going to take game 1 by a total of 15. 15 with 15 in lost pile, 240. Okay, now we're waiting on to see if the players want to go take like a 5-minute break or if they're going to go straight into game 2. They were saying that they're going to be playing both games tonight, but now we wait to see. Jason offering a be back in 10 minutes. If they are going to be taking a break, we're also going to take a break. In the meantime, let's go ahead with our first trivia question of the night. The Light Side Republic has 2 Admiral cards. There is Admiral Yularen and Admiral Killian. Please tell the first player in the chat who can tell us who designed Admiral Killian will win a GEMP AI pack. I will need the full name of the individual, not their screen name, not their Twitch handle, their Slack handle. I need to know the actual person's name. There we go. Kiss my Wookie, you are the winner. And I'll definitely be giving... And you know what? We're going to do one more trivia question. The Outrider Cup ended recently with Team USA taking down taking down Team Europe. The first person in the chat who can name all 3 players who went 2-0 in the Outrider Cup will also win a GEMP AI pack. Again, there were 3 players who went 2-0. Please name them. I believe Garrett is the... No, Emil did not go... I don't think Emil went 2-0. Let me check that. Stand by. Stand by. Yes, Emil did not go 2-0. So, yes, Emil is not the correct answer. Jets are dim. You are correct. The 3 people that went 2-0, Joe Olsen, Kuhn, and our good friend Brian Fred all went 2-0 in the Outrider Cup. So I know Kiss My Wookie, you won a pack. Let me know who you are. I always forget. And Jets are dim. Please do the same. Let me know who you are, and we'll get you guys at least your GEMP handle will get you a pack here from Jared. Wayne Cullen. Oh, we can't let Wayne get a pack, can we? Jared Greenwald. Okay. Okay, everybody, so we're going to take like about a 10-minute break or so, so make sure you guys stay tuned on this. And then we're also going to have game one of Scott and Connor, so make sure you guys tune into Garrett's channel. And then, but yeah, we'll be back with game two here momentarily. Okay, everybody, welcome back to Game 2 of David Woods versus Jason Reindeau. Again, I am Dan Tertaleon, also known as DTarTag1. We have No Idea versus Thrawn in Game 2 of this exciting top 4 Jawa match. Again, David going with No Idea. Jason going with Thrawn. See, Endor Shield pulls Grand Admiral Thrawn. For Jason, Dave going out and getting Admiral Radis from his deck with a Rebel Leadership. Jason also pulling Admiral Ozzel as well. The diff was plus 15 for Dave. Both players getting out their grabbers. Jason getting out Secret Plans. And again, at 10:30, we're going to have Scotland Grill versus Connor Britton, Game 1 of their top 8 match. Jason goes ahead and activates, goes get a docking bay with his Imperial Rest Order. There's the Coruscant docking bay. And the Kashyyyk system for Jason. Let's see if we're going to see Grand Admiral Thrawn come down. Yep, there's Grand Admiral Thrawn being revealed. It's going to allow him to go get the Chimera. Throws those down for 7 force, going straight to Scarif, as Jason is not running the AI Chimera. He's going with the normal Chimera. Admiral Ozzel for backup as well, as David is already threatening a drain of 2 up in space. He does draw his last card and will pass over to Jason. Or I'm sorry, to Dave. Jason needing to win this game by at least 16. We'll see what Dave again just needs to lose the game by at least no more than 15 if it has to go to lost piles. Dave does have the advantage being up by 15 cards, only having 15 cards in his lost pile to Jason's 40. Dave going out and getting a docking bay with his Insurrection. We will not see Ellis Hellrot or Neighbor Leeds being played probably in this game, as both players have their Imperial Rest Order or Secret or Insurrection on the table. Dave is thinking about what he has in his reserve deck this turn, as he goes out and gets the home 1 docking bay. And Dave's going to go get either the Rogue One, a Corvette, or a Scarif site from his reserve deck with his They Have No Idea We're Coming objective. And not sure what happened with Kemp there. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. My internet decided it wanted it to be a little bit screwy. As we see the tandem 4 going down to Lothal. Admiral Radis coming down as well. So, looks like everybody has some issues right there. So it wasn't just me. Luke Skywalker V going down from hand as well. So David's giving himself some options up in space. Normally, Thrawn usually runs only like 3 Star Destroyers. Again, the Chimera is the big one. So Dave going to space first and setting up some retrieval with Luke Skywalker. There's his battle plan defensive shield, making it so Jason's going to have to pay to drain for essentially 3 up there in Scarif. Again, it's going to make him lose 1 to the Thrawn's Art Collection. Yeah, John, I think that is the play for Dave. Dave uses 1 force. Is going to go get himself his Hojix or a Jarek into hand. Yep, he pulls out Hojix. John McFarland pointing out in the chat that no idea should hold on to the Scarif Beach until General Veers comes out. And I do Bill agreeing with that. As we see Jason deciding not to force drain. Interesting. As there's the Executor docking bay coming out. So he will not pay 3 to drain. Not sure exactly why. Now, this could mean that he's trying to go after the Tantive 4. As he plays We're in attack position now. And he flashes Captain Kirky, so he knows that they were in there. As the Thunder Flare goes down to Lothal. Captain Kirky on the Thunder Flare will make the attrition up there -2. Admiral Mahdi coming down for 1 force. Kirky going to take a look at the top card of Dave's reserve deck. And he will reveal it, so it is a character, and Dave does have to lose 1 force here. As he'll lose Escape Pod and We're Doomed. So he does reveal it to Dave. Unfortunately, we don't get to see it. As there's the Come Here, You Big Coward shield from Jason. No lateral damage or I've Lost R2 coming out from Jason. As we see an Imperial command that Jason wants to add a Battle Destiny up in space. Let's see, does Dave have a response with his own Rebel leadership? No, he does not. Jason draws a 5 for his first Destiny. And a 5 for the second. That's going to get rid of Luke and Admiral Radis. As we see Dave draw Ensign Chad Hilsey, bringing his total up to 11. That's so he theoretically could lose the Falcon as he's down by 14. Luke and Radis cover the attrition, but they will not cover the battle damage. Radis goes to the lost pile. Luke also going to the lost pile. As he still has 3 in battle damage to cover. Dave thinking about what he wants to do here. And he's going to lose the Tantive. Interesting. So instead of peeling cards from his deck, he lost Admiral Raddus, Luke Skywalker V, and the Tantive. We see the battle at Lothal end, and Jason's just going to draw some cards. Garrett in the chat's asking, do you think ensigns grow on trees? Bill saying yes. I mean, Bill was in the military. He would know. Then again, I was in the military, and even I don't know the answer to that question. Dave activates 11. As he'll search for a docking bay. And again, less than half an hour, Garrett Larson is going to stream Game 1 between Connor Britton and Scotland Grell. As we see Lieutenant Blount going down to the data vault. Lieutenant Blount, a really good card against ISB. But Dave is not facing down ISB. He's facing down a great tactician generates plans. No, a great tactician creates plans. As we see, there's a Leia resistant transport going down to Kashyyyk. Rey hopping onto it for free. That's going to allow Dave to pull a card that from his used pile. He's got his choice of 4 up there. Dave did decide on his card. He also is going to take the bottom card of his force pile into hand with Rey as well. General Aaron Kraken going down with Lieutenant Blount. Yeah, this is offering Dave a little bit of stability right now, as it's threatening drains of 2, 1, and then the Stardust Ping. As we see Dave draw some cards out of his force pile. And he draws the last card. He's not respecting the first strike, as he just draws everything out of his force pile and passes turn over to Jason. Jason with a 9-card hand activates 13 force. He's going to look at the top card of Dave's reserve deck. And again, it is going to be another character, as Dave has another point of force to lose here, and he'll lose the Endor Commando team off the top. Endor Commander Team, a pretty good Ability 1 character. Speaking of Ability 1 characters, look out for the latest episode of Top 8 with Korn and Batmouse. Their special guest is going to be Scott Lingrell as they discuss the top 8 Ability 1 characters in the game. Jason decides he's going to drain here. As we see an art card get stacked, it's going to be Captain Ramus Antilles, and Dave's going to lose Rebel leadership off the top, as well as Han, Chewie, and the Falcon V. And here we go. Mara Jade with lightsaber going down to the Data Vault. Now, if Dave was on the 7 side of his objective, he'd be able to cancel the swing. However, he is currently not on the 7 side of his objective. And Mara will initiate a fight between Lieutenant Blount and General Kraken. And she's going to swing at General Kraken. Draws a 2 for the first Destiny. Now, as long as he does not draw a 0 here, it's going to hit. He draws a 1. If Dave has they're tracking us, he could subtract 1 from that and make it so General Kraken would not be hit. However, he does not. General Kraken will be hit. And forfeit made to be 0. Dave's going to grab the Stardust off of the Data Vault and put it onto Lieutenant Blount. Interesting. As we see, Jason draws a 6 for his Battle Destiny, bringing his total power up to 10. Dave is going to be drawing 2 Destiny here. He draws a 1 for the first one. And a 3 for the second one. Bringing his total up to 5. Jin is Battle Destiny plus 1. As the Stardust goes back to the Data Vault, and the Data Vault is cleared. Would not be surprised to see the Thunder Flare move over in front of the Leos resistant transport. Yep, the Thunder Flare travels through hyperspeed. It goes from Lothal to Kashyyyk, blocking the drain at the system. And we see Jason draws a few cards and will pass turn over to Dave. Jason sitting at 29 in Life Force, 10 in hand. Dave sitting at 27 in Life Force and 9 in hand. Ray taking the bottom card of the Force pile into Dave's hand. Is he still in his activate phase? Goes into his control phase. He's not going to be able to drain here. Again, Dave taking his time here, thinking about what he wants to do. Jason has pretty good board presence at this point. As we see Ezra Bridger going down to the Imperial Complex. '. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And Jaren Webb going down to the data vault for 1 force. Dave spreading out a little bit here. As we see Ensign Chad Hilsa going down to the docking bay. And Dave's going to move to his move phase. I'm expecting to see that, yep, he's going to move the Leia-resistant transport from Kashyyyk over to Lothal. As he draws a few cards, and it looks like he's going to pass turn over to Jason. Saving 1 force. Ezra triggers. Now, Jason has a interesting conundrum here. He's either going to subtract 2 from the force that he's generating on this turn, or he's going to allow Dave to activate 2. He goes with the -2 to his activation. Dave currently does have the Hujiks in his hand, so I think he's just trying to push through some damage. Now, all Jason has to do is get Jaren Webb off the table, and that takes away a lot of those drains. And Jason hits another character with Captain Kirgy. For those tracking at home, that's 3 so far this game. As we see, Jason is causing another point of damage to Dave with Captain Kirgy. As we see Odin, Nestler, and First Strike go to the lost pile from hand. As we see Jason go into his control phase, he's got 11 force to work with this turn, and he does not drain at either system and goes straight into his deploy phase. As we see Governor Price going down to the data vault. General Veers coming down as well. This is going to at least get rid of that Hujiks in Dave's hand. Jason does initiate. Ray is going to take the bottom card, or the only card in the force pile, into hand. Jaren and Jason draws a 6 for Battle Destiny. It's going to be 11-1, and Dave has to lose 4 in Overflow. Now, he could lose the Hujiks, and he does decide to do that. However, but the bigger thing is, now Dave only occupies 1 battleground site, one battleground location. So he's not going to be able to drain at Scarif, at Coruscant. He could theoretically drain at Lothal, but it is going to be -1 because Hera is not up there. Jason is just going to draw at this point. As we see Jason saving 1 force, Dave activates 12. Ray taking another card out of the force pile for Dave. Dave checking out his destiny. As we see Jason get a free verify of what's in there. And Commander Melshi going down to the data vault. That's going to allow Dave to pull out a Trooper or throw me another charge. He's going to get Taidu out of his reserve deck. Taidu joining Commander Melshi. Commander Melshi draws the bottom card of the use pile. Leia Organa comes down as well. Dave's still in his deploy phase, thinking about if there's anything else he wants to do, as action is still on Dave here. Still in Dave's deploy phase. Again, he just deploys Commander Melshi, Taidu, and Leia Organa V all to the data vault this turn. Action still on David Woods at this point. And in just 10 minutes, we're still going to have Game 1 of Connor versus Scott on Garrett Larson's channel. Corn Horn going down as well. Torn Far backing up Ensign Chad. As we see Leia grab Stardust. And Dave initiates a battle at the data vault. Leia adding 1 destiny to total power here. Currently sitting at 10-5 in favor in Dave. Dave draws a 2 for his destiny to power. So it's going to be 12-5 in favor of Dave. Dave going to retrieve 1 with make 10 men feel like 100, and he's going to retrieve his Hojiks. As we go to Battle Destiny, Dave draws a 2 for his Battle Destiny. There's a Dark Time for the Rebellion from Jason that's going to subtract 1 from that. So it's going to be 13-5. And Jason draws a 1 for Battle Destiny. So 1 character is going to have to go lost for Dave. And right now Jason is looking at 7 in total battle damage. And I believe it's going to have to be General Veers here. As we see Taidu go to the lost pile. Yep, Veers goes to the lost pile as well. Jason still has 7 to lose. He loses the Vengeance and a Trample both off the top of his reserve deck. Dave, happy to see the Vengeance go. As we see Governor Price staring down Commander Melshi, Leia, and Corn Horn. All just like in the movies. Jason, again, being impacted by Ezra Bridger, decides to go with the -2 to his activation. Now, he is going to be able to drain for free this turn, essentially doing 5 points of damage to Dave. Dave's saying that he doesn't know if he wants to play the beach. That's kind of smart. And Captain Kurgi goes 4 for 4, hitting another character, making Dave lose a force, and as he loses a free ride and Endor Celebration V from his hand. As we put Jyn Erso, Heroic Rebel, to the top from the reserve deck to the use pile. And we have a drain of 2 at Scarif. There's the art card going to go stacked onto the art collection. We see the Lightmaker go to hand, or from hand to the effect. As we see Jason pull a card with Governor Price. As he's able to pull any card he wants that does not have ability into his hand from his reserve deck. He takes Imperial Enforcement. Again, now Dave has to lose 2 to the drain of 2 at Scarif. There goes a Bright Hope and Rogue One, both from Dave's hand. Drain of 2 at Kashyyyk. See, another Leia's Resistant Transport hit the lost pile. And I Don't Like Sand off the top as well. Dave sitting at 21, hand in life. Jason comfortably sitting at 35. Wow, he's got to lose 20 cards to get to the point where Dave feels confident in advancing to the finals. As Grand Moff Tarkin goes down to the Data Vault. That's odd. He'd never hit the surface of Scarif. He was comfortably sitting on the Death Star in the movies. That's going to allow Jason to draw 2 Battle Destiny there at the at the Data Vault. I'm assuming it's going to happen here. Bill showing us an emoji in chat. I'm not sure which one that means. I'm assuming Bill is worried for Dave at this point, but I could be wrong. As we see the Chimera move over to block the drain at Lothal. And Jason's going to draw some cards. Interesting to see no battle at the Data Vault. Like, I know Melshi covers a lot. Jason might not have liked his Destiny. However, he's drawn some pretty good Destiny in battles. Now, Dave is going to be able to drain for 3 this turn. So we see Dave put Don't Do That Again V into play. See Dave, we are in Dave's activate. He does check out his deck with Don't Do That Again V before he goes into his control phase or into his activate phase. See Jason play Do They Have a Code of Clearance as he plays Cold Feet from his hand. Dave activates 13, draws a card with Ray. And like I said, it is going to be able to drain for 3 this turn. There's drain at 2 at the Imperial Complex. As we see Blizzard 1 go lost. As well as a battle deployment. Trades for 1 at the Coruscant docking bay. Jason will lose Merrick Steele from his hand. Jason at 30 hand in life. And there's the Stardust ping as well. There goes Lost in Space from Jason's hand as well. Dave checking out the 5 cards in his reserve deck. Does not hit on a docking bay. Jason saying that he hopes not losing Lost in Space will not come back to bite him. Don't know, we'll see. But however, he does know that Dave has 1s and 3s in his reserve deck at this point. Dave hoping to get enough power there to clear the data vault and make it so that Jason has to pay to drain. However, let's see what Dave's going to do this turn. He's got 4 cards in his hand, 12 force to work with, and 5 cards in his reserve deck. Shirut going down for 3. Bays would be really good here. For Dave at this point. As he could shoot either Price or Grand Moff Tarkin, causing them to become forfeit 0, and thus getting rid of both in a battle if he decides to battle here. And Dave's still thinking about what he wants to do. He's still in his deploy phase, as he's currently down by almost 5 minutes on Jason. And Dave goes into his battle phase. And he initiates in the data vault. Currently is 12-6 in Dave's favor. As we see Dave check out the top card of Jason's deck with Shirut. And it's going to stick around there. We have Leia adding a Destiny to power. Thrawn or Tarkin adding a Destiny to the battle. So Jason's drawing 2 Battle Destiny here. Dave's drawing a Destiny to power and a Battle Destiny. Dave draws a 1 for his Destiny to power. It is Jin. That is going to allow him to retrieve 1. He does have to pay 1, though. Again, Jin is Destiny plus 1. And he draws a 2 for his Battle Destiny. So Dave's sitting at 16. Jason draws a 2 for his first Destiny. It's going to be at 18. He is going to take that into hand, though. As we see Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, as the first Battle Destiny. Nope, Tarkin's going to cancel that and cause a redraw. Jason with 2 cancels and redraws. He draws a 6 for his first Battle of Destiny. And that is not what Dave wants to see there. He draws a 4 for his second Battle of Destiny. It is going to be 16-16. And unfortunately, Dave currently down by 10 in attrition. Jason sitting at 2 in attrition. Again, Tarkin has to go lost because Governor Price likes to stick around. Dave at an interesting conundrum, as we know that Jason now has the 9th sister in his hand. That is a card, if you're a no idea player, you do not want to see. Dave thinking carefully about who he wants to lose here. Again, he has to lose 10 into attrition. Good question, Scott. Oh, you are correct. It is only when you lose. So, yeah, you do not have to lose Tarkin here. As we see Cornhorn go lost, Governor Price goes lost. And will it be Leia, Shirut, or Commander Melshi? As we see Commander Melshi go lost as well, that's going to allow Dave to pull a trooper. He has none in his reserve deck, and the battle ends. So not a turn that Dave wanted. Again, if you're interested in watching Scott versus Connor on their match, their game 1 is currently going on, I hope, on Garrett Larson's channel. And if you are interested in watching that one, go ahead and just follow the link. That's not what I was getting to, Brian. You have to lose somebody else before her if you in a battle. I forgot that it's only in a losing battle. Ezra triggers, and again, Dave either going to cause Jason to subtract 2 from his total activation, or Dave would get to draw 2. He causes the -2 to the activation again. And if you're interested in watching Scott versus Connor, there's the link. Go check it out. It should be a good game. Jason activates. Dave plays Rebel Leadership from his hand, and Jason grabs it. Dave did move the Leia Resistant Transport from Lothal over to Scarif. However, Jason is still draining for 3, and he's going to cause 4 points of damage this turn. 3 from drains, and 1 to the art card. As we see Vice Admiral Holdo go from the reserve deck to Dave's hand. Captain Kirgy checking out and seeing what Dave has on the top of his deck, and he goes 5 for 5. I don't think I've ever seen Captain Kirgy go 5 for 5 in a game. As we see Dave lose Keep Your Eyes Open from his hand. Jyn Erso goes from the top of the reserve deck to the use pile. Here we go. Drain for 1 at Lothal. Dave again having to stack a card here. Jason sitting comfortably at 29 hand in life. As we see Vice Admiral Holdo get stacked to the Thrawn's art collection. Dave still having to lose one to the drain at Lothal. As we see Jyn Erso, Heroic Rebel, go to the lost pile. Drains for 2 at Kashyyyk. There goes Wedge Antilles, a Red Squadron leader from hand, as well as Rey. Into Jason's deploy phase. As General Navarre goes down to the data vault. That's going to give Jason another battle sitting down there, so he's going to be able to draw 2. Probably going to, I think this might clear Dave out of the data vault. As he peeks at the top card of Dave's reserve deck. Action still on Jason at this point. And Blizzard 4 going down in front of Ensign Chad and Tornfar. There's a perimeter scan from Dave. That's going to make it so that the Blizzard 4 cannot download a character and cannot battle this turn. The good thing for Dave is he can easily just docking bay transit away to either the Hoth docking bay or the Home 1 docking bay, getting out of there with those 2 characters on his next turn. As we see Jason plays a trample to get rid of Ensign Chad. Dave will grab the trample. And draws a 6. Yeah, I could think that Ensign Chad is kind of squished at this point. As he will go to the lost pile. This actually could be very close to game. Jason has enough to deploy the 9th sister. As the Imperial enforcement would allow him to initiate a battle for free. However, he's going to move the Thunderflare from Kashyyyk to Scarif. And draw some cards. Paying the upkeep cost on Blizzard 4. And pass his turn over to Dave. Again, Dave is going to do 2 points of damage with the drain at the Lothal Imperial Complex. And he's also going to do a point of damage with the Stardust effect. So he's going to get 3 damage through. However, Jason is sitting at 26 hand in life. Dave in his activate phase here, thinking about what he wants to do. As he activates, saves 2, and draws a card from the bottom of his force pile with Ray. Again, Dave's still sitting in his activate phase. He's got 2 cards in his reserve deck, and there's Tarkin's orders to cancel the drain at the Imperial Complex. Tarkin's orders going used. And there's the ping to the Stardust. There goes the Imperial Capital City from Jason's hand. As it is looking more and more like Jason is going to squeak out this second game and most likely advance to the finals here. As we're still now we're in David's deploy phase. Jason's sitting at 25 handed life. David's sitting at 15 handed life. Bodhi Rook going down with Torn Far. And Corporal Pal going down to the Data Vault for 1. As I Don't Like Sand hits the table. Dave's going to stack a Perimeter Scan and Baze from his reserve deck onto I Don't Like Sand. As we see Dave start to recycle some cards. Plays Antillia's Maneuver. Now, the bad thing is Dave just essentially lost 2 force by playing the I Don't Like Sand effect. He goes and loses 2 cards from his reserve deck. So he's currently sitting at 10. We do see him recirculate with Shirut and initiates a battle in the Data Vault. As Shirut's going to take a look at the top card of Jason's reserve deck and moves it over to the force pile. Dave takes a card off of I Don't Like Sand. Nope, Tarkin, you cannot add a Battle Destiny there, as Dave took off Baze off the top of I Don't Like Sand, and he'll add a Destiny to Attrition with Leo Organa. Dave draws a 5 for his Battle Destiny. And Jason draws a 4. So it is looking like Dave's going to win this battle, as he draws a 5 for the Destiny to Attrition. So he is going to clear the site. It is going to cost him 1 character. I believe it's going to be Corporal Pal here. Yeah, he cannot afford to lose Shirut, as if Jason deploys the 9th Sister there, that would be very bad for Dave. As we see General Navarre and Grand Moff Tarkin both go to the loss pile. Now again, Dave has an interesting little situation here, as Tornfar and Bodhi are both under the boot of the Blizzard 4. He's also got to move the Leia Resistant Transport from Scarif to Kashyyyk. However, now, if Jason wants to drain, he's going to have to pay 3 force per drain. And I don't think that would be such a terrible idea, as if he's doing 4 points of damage essentially to Dave at this point. And any amount of force lost is good for Jason. Still in Dave's battle phase, as he's using up a little bit of clock here. I don't believe he's going to be too worried about the... Okay, so he's going to initiate a battle against the Blizzard 4. And he draws... Oh, that is a card he did not want to see. He draws the Scarab Beach. His total destiny is going to be a 1 here, but... And Jason draws a 4 for Battle Destiny, so Dave's down by 8. Now, Bodhi and Torn Far will cover, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for Dave, because now Jason can't just drop the 9th sister there and essentially cause the game to be almost over. Dave still has 3 cards left in his force pile, as he's still trying to get through some damage here. As we see, Jason has 5 cards in hand to Dave's currently 3. Ezra initiates his game text, as we see that Jason wants to subtract 2 from his total activation, or his force generation. Captain Kirky going for 6 for 6. It goes 6 for 6. Oh my gosh. We see Dave having to lose another card to Captain Kirgy, as he loses Saw Gerrera off the top of his reserve deck. That is 6 points of damage this game by Captain Kirgy. Jason sitting at 25 hand in life. Dave sitting at 10 hand in life. And that is before drains. Yes, just think of the position that Dave would be in if Kirgy would have went 0 for 6. Or 1 for 6. But going 6 for 6, that's kind of crazy. As we are in Jason's activate phase here. As he moves into the control phase. He will drain for 1 at Lothal. Again, that is going to stack a card to the Thrawn's Art Collection. Again, essentially doing 2 points of damage for Jason. So we see bays go from hand down to the art card. Dave loses Projection of Skywalker from his hand. Yeah, think about it this way, John. If he would, that's between Kirgy and the Thrawn's Art Collection, that's 10 cards. That's 1/6 of his deck, essentially. Drains for 2 at the beach. There goes Captain Cassian Andor and the beach, both off the top of the reserve deck. The Emperor goes down to the Lothal Advanced Projects site, as he's going to be kind of a pain to get rid of in this game. As the Chimera will move over from Lothal to Kashyyyk, blocking that drain of 2 there. Dave threatening 4 points of damage. Going to get to Jason down to 19. Unfortunately, though, Jason is threatening 6 points of damage. That would actually end it for Dave. As we do move into Jason's draw phase. He draws a card and passes his turn. Jason with 24 in life force. Dave sitting at 4, or I'm sorry, Jason 24 hand in life. Dave sitting at 6. Dave activates 4. Drains for 2 at the Imperial Complex. It's going to go through as we see Imperial Decree and Blizzard 2 go to the lost pile from hand. Drains for 1 at the Data Vault. Loses Imperial Command. And we're going to see in the Stardust ping. Stardust for 1 as we see we're in attack position now. Go off the top from the reserve deck to the lost pile. Dave does have he did retrieve the Hujix. I don't know if he drew into it though. As we see Commander Willard going down to the Imperial Complex for 2 force. And he'll move Ray and the Resistant Transport from Kashyyyk to Scarif. I do think that Dave's going to need to put Walkling out of play at some point this game just to retrieve a force. As we see Ezra Bridger move over in front of the Emperor, blocking that drain. Dave recirculates and passes turn over to Jason. Ezra only subtracting 1 from the force generation. Jason sitting at 20 hand in life. Dave sitting at 5. As he puts a card back in his deck with Commander Willard to draw the top card of his reserve deck. Captain Kirgy goes for 8 for 8. Oh no, 7 for 7. I am sorry. And misses! For the first time this game, Captain Kirgy misses. As we see Hera get stacked onto the art card. As we see Drain for 2. Dave saying whoops. As he'll lose Sabotage and Antilles Maneuver to the drain. Dave, with 2 cards left in his life force, drops the 9th Sister. And that's going to do it. As we know, he does not have the Hujix here. Ninth Sister initiates, is currently up by 3 in power. Dave taking a card off of I Don't Like Sand. He takes the Perimeter Scan. Jason draws a 5. Willard has, I believe, 6 in forfeit. So it is going to be Willard and 2. As we see Dave lose the Perimeter Scan from his hand, and 1 off the top, he loses Antilles Maneuver. Dave only able to do 2 more points of damage to Jason, and it looks like Jason is going to come back and emerge victorious. As we see the Emperor initiate against Ezra. Jason draws a 2 here. That's going to get rid of Ezra. And there's the Hujix. As Dave draws the 1. Now he's going to lose Ezra here. Jason doesn't have to lose anybody. Four cards, John. Yeah. As we have... Yeah. Guess by lost piles. He was up 15 to 40. Dave cannot draw. There goes Ray. There goes the resistant transport. And there goes the last point of force for Dave, as Jason will emerge victorious and move on to the finals. So there we have it, everybody. Our first finalist for the Jawa Cup. It is Jason Reindeau. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all had a good time. Make sure you tune into Garrett's channel for Connor versus Scott. I'll see everybody later, maybe with Game 2 of Connor versus Scott. But until then, everybody take care. Enjoy your weekend. And as always, may the force be with you. Good night.